Hello lads, right, before we get into the video, a small little favour to ask. Inching very close to 500,000 subscribers, such a mental number. Let's try and hit it before the end of the year. Anyway, that's enough of that, let's just crack back into the video.
In the past there were forfeits. A strange little Irish man with some sort of weird fetish for unwashed scarves. He's been guilty of saying some stupid things in the past. First, there was the Watford one.
We all know Javi Garcia is going to be down the Dole office in about 3 months. Like, if he's still there at Christmas, I will spend one night sleeping in a bin.
Then Manchester United.
Here's my prediction. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to be sacked by Christmas. Honestly, if he's not, right, I will gladly take a bath in a gallon of milk.
Can I at least get some cereal?
And most recently in July 2019.
I'll tell you what, right? If this is the year Brentford do go up, I will get Pontus Jansson's name tattooed somewhere on my body. Oh Christ above, what a gambine. Hello, welcome to HITC Sport, alright. This is a first on the channel. Right now, so confident am I of Brentford's collapse. I'm making this video 6 hours before they even kicked off their last championship game of the season. You see, look, it's still bright outside. Christ, I live in a shithole. It's a risk, I mean, for all I know, by now West Brom could have choked, lost to QPR, and right now Brentford could be in the Premier League, which would make me look pretty stupid right about now. But no, I'm pretty confident that hasn't happened. So I must say, from the bottom of my heart, West Brom, thank you for not messing this up. Slaven Bilic has always had a place in my heart. Having knocked England out of the Euro 2008 qualifiers, I didn't stop laughing for weeks. So now, 13 years later, he's also deprived little old Brentford, the hipster's choice for automatic promotion. Bilic, you absolute hero. And QPR, thank you for inevitably rolling over and dying like a pig who's just swallowed a sandwich soaked in gasoline. For the last few weeks, you've all been clogging up my Twitter and Instagram. I can barely move for the mentions, the constant daily reminders that yes, I'll be getting Pontus Jansson's name tattooed on my body. I'm not gonna lie lads, I was pretty terrified. People do strange things in lockdown. The lack of social activity has almost morphed people's brains into scrambled eggs. But if I return back to Ireland with a 29-year-old centre half who nobody will remember in 10 years, if I have him etched on my body for life, oh good Christ, returning to visit my mother with a Brentford centre half carelessly scribbled on the body that she made, it's about as risky as inviting Claude on a 2-hour live stream.
That weird kid with the scarf is back!
Imagine if I got hit by a bus. Never mind identifying the body. The doctors would probably be cracking up down the local post-mortem. Because I'm sorry, anyone who gets a random championship defender painted on their body for life, they probably deserve to be hit by a bus. But this is just me taking an opportunity to breathe a deep sigh of relief. Brentford choked last week, chucking their automatic hopes down a bin with a 1-0 loss to Stoke. So now, I assume West Brom have cantered to a home win over QPR. I mean, they better f***ing have. And now the Brentford players will be so goddamn demoralised, having blown their chance, that they'll just trudge to defeat in the playoffs like we see every bastard year. I mean, look at Leeds last year, and my body will thankfully be saved. So to all you football hipsters in the comments,
oh, this is the year Brentford finally go up. They're too good not to go up. Have you seen the way they play football?
oh yeah, have fun getting beaten up by Cardiff in the playoffs. I mean, don't get me wrong, you pushed it close, to the point where I've actually been sweating like a cow in heat. But no, this is going to be an unblemished patch of skin for life. Before I move on from the championship, congrats to Leeds United, back in the Premier League after 16 long years. 16 years being stuffed outside the top flight. Rise above lads, even Marcus Rashford is happy to see you back where you belong.
As a United fan, I'm happy to see Leeds United back in the Premier League where they belong. Congrats, LUFC.
Yeah, no wonder he deleted this. This is a bit like me wishing Football Daily well if they hit 2 million subs. Don't congratulate your derby rivals, Rashford. For Man United fans, you might as well have smeared cow vomit all over the club's badge. These clubs do not like each other. Christ well, when Alan Smith made the switch, he almost had Leeds fans chucking bags of mouthwash at his car. So Rashford might be happy to see them back now. I wonder if he'll be saying that next year when he's playing at Ellen Road and he has Leeds fans comparing his nose to a Concord. But I do get what Rashford is saying. It is exciting to see a big club like Leeds, with their rich history and tradition, alongside Marcelo Bielsa, one of the most highly regarded managers in world football. It's great to see them back in the big time. And the fact they forced Derby County players to actually give them a guard of honour. 18 months after shamelessly camping out in their bushes, those players would probably rather have snorted cheese out of their grandmother's belly button than stand and applaud those Leeds players. Honestly, I'm not sure how they managed to play the game of football. Half of them were probably getting ready to chuck up their dinner. The fact that over the last decade and a half, the Premier League has opened its gates and welcomed the likes of Bournemouth, Huddersfield, Hull City and Wigan, while Leeds fans were stuffed on coaches to Stockport County and Yeovil Town, losing playoff finals against Doncaster bastard Rovers. It must have been 16 years of hell. No disrespect to those other clubs, but they're about as small as you can get. Christ above, Bournemouth have lasted 5 years in the top flight, and they have a stadium no bigger than a train station toilet. Seeing clubs like Bradford City contest cup finals, Wigan Athletic lifting an FA Cup, Burnley and Stoke getting into Europe, for Leeds, let's just say it must have been a tough time. Now moving into the Premier League, and Watford deserved to go down. You know what, you're probably all expecting me to be gutted that Villa beat Arsenal the other night. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'd give my left eyebrow to see Jack Grealish's melted head flushed into the championship toilet. But lads, Watford this season, Watford every season, they've shown themselves to be completely out of touch. What football club sacks 3 managers in one bastard season and hopes to live to tell the tale? There's instability, and then there's that. It's not the fans who deserve relegation, not even the players who've dug in and grafted when it matters, but those putzo owners, if they can even call themselves owners, they've shown themselves to be a disgrace to the game. And I realise saying that on the internet, it means I'm probably going to wake up with a horse's head in my bed. But lads, this needs to be said. Promotion to the top flight, an FA Cup final and not a single relegation blemish on their CV. But lads, the hire and fire mentality, senselessly getting rid of Nigel Pearson, it stinks of ingratitude and a bit of lunacy. Do they really think they're above his level? That they'll just pop down the shops and automatically find a better manager ready to risk his dignity by accepting a job offer from them? As David Moyes said, this guy was arguably in the running to be manager of the year. When the rest of the Premier League was terrified Liverpool will go unbeaten and be crowned the new Invincibles, this was the guy who stepped up and answered the call. The only reason Watford are even in with a shout of survival on the last day of the season is because of him. When he was appointed in early December after 15 games of the season, they were at rock bottom of the league, below the likes of Norwich with just 8 bastard points. They won 1 game all season, none at Vicarage Road. They were sailing headfirst through the trapdoor. It was a beleaguered and weary dressing room, with half the players still traumatised by that FA Cup final embarrassment at the hands of Man City. So for Pearson to be able to pick them off the floor, they went on a 7-match unbeaten run. There were wins over Man United, Aston Villa, Wolves, Bournemouth, Liverpool, Norwich and Newcastle. Sure, a 3-1 defeat at West Ham wasn't ideal. It never is when you're conceding worldies to Declan Rice, but they still just recorded back-to-back wins. So what was the point in sacking Pearson for the final 2 games of the season? Just let him finish the job. Don't stick an inexperienced Hayden Mullins in the dugout, the guy paid to put out the cones in training. It makes absolutely no sense. It's like being 80% of the way through a driving test before suddenly allowing your 4-year-old nephew to take the wheel for the final 10 minutes. I'm pretty sure not only are you going to fail the exam, you're probably going to be spending the rest of the week picking shards of broken glass out of your skull. I'm sorry, but this sacking, it really shows up the board to be spoiled, deluded and out of touch with reality. These guys think they're the mafia, a group so cutthroat and ruthless they'd probably have their granny whacked if she sneezed in the wrong direction. I just feel sorry for these fans. Just when they feel like they're getting to grips with reality, with the entire club moving in the right direction for once, the board owners just decide to plunge them back into more chaos. Apparently there was a disagreement between Pearson and the owner. No shit. Pearson looks like somebody who spends every afternoon arguing with his bastard postman. This is a guy who nearly throttled an opposition footballer on the pitch. What did you expect? If you're the Watford owner, just roll with the punches. This is what he's like. Look at the bigger picture. Do not sack the guy saving your season with 2 games left to play. Is it any coincidence the last time Watford were in the relegation zone was 5 months ago? Nearly half a bastard year. And then, within 3 days of his departure, back in they go. But it's not just the fact Pearson has lost his job. Fine. He'll probably get another one, most likely at Middlesbrough. But they've effectively cost him £1 million. That's the bonus he would have received had Watford stayed up. So pressing the self-destruct button, he's just going to be stuck at home watching £1 million flush down the toilet. This is like when he was denied the opportunity to finish out the Leicester job. A job that would have ended in a Premier League winners medal. I never thought I'd actually feel sorry for Nigel Pearson. As for Villa, I had them written off months ago as dead and buried. I still stand by my reasoning that Dean Smith should probably be sacked back in January, because this is an actually talented Villa squad and he is a bang average championship level manager. But it actually looks like they might stay up against all odds, which means more years of Jack Grealish in the top flight. Hooray! As for Arsenal fans, they really think the FA Cup semi-final win over Man City was them turning a corner? Was it balls? This is Arsenal. This is what they do. Even under Arsene Wenger's stale reign of power, even then they were always able to pull off big wins in the cups. Does nobody remember the 2017 FA Cup final? But just like nowadays, they were also prone to folding like a leaf on Premier League away days. Mikel Arteta has been held up as a new saviour, the new messiah. That might hold more weight if they weren't sitting 10th in the league. Anyway, that's it, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and as always, I'll talk to you in a while.